Hi, boys and girls. Well, today we're going to a country that we could either fly to or we could drive to. And if we drive to this country, then we'll get to see some amazing things on the way. So, what do you think we should do? Pack our suitcases and go to the airport and fly? Or pack up the car with some snacks and some treats and some books for us to read along the way and our cameras so we can take pictures and drive? Okay, it looks like we're driving. So we'll get into the car, we'll get ourselves comfy, and we'll set off along the way. We'll have to make some pit stops and some photo stops as we see some amazing things. Now, when we get in the car, we're going to be driving north. So does that mean we're going to be going up, or does it mean we're going to be going down? You're right. We're heading north. We're going up. We're going up towards the North Pole, and we're going to stay in the continent of North America. But we're going to start in our car, drive across the border, and into the country of Canada. Now, Canada is part of the Commonwealth countries that is ruled by the monarchy, the Queen of England for right now, but she's also the Queen of the Commonwealth. And so they have a parliament with a prime minister. Here we have a president. They have a prime minister. All right, so we're up in Canada, and they celebrate Christmas as well. But they have some unusual parts to their Christmas celebration. But first, we're going to read a little book about Canada. So we have ABC of Canada. And it's written by Henrik Girth, and it's illustrated by Kim Belafontaine. Oh, and here's a map of Canada, and we can see that it is made up of 13 provinces. And on this page, we can see a Canadian Mountie. We're going to read about them inside this book. ABC of Canada. Here is the flag of Canada, and I notice that it has two of the same colors as our American flag. This one has a leaf on there, and that's for the sugar maple tree, which we're also going to read about in this book. I do notice that there's an animal in clothing and holding the flag. So I'm suspecting that even though we're going to get information from this book, part of it is imaginary. A is for Arctic, in the icy, cold north. Arctic is another word for the North Pole. B is for beaver, busy, building a dam. Whoa, there's some alliteration there because I heard beaver, building, busy. A lot of sound in there. Now, beavers were very important because trappers used to trap them for their fur and then trade the fur for things that they needed to live. So that was part of the economy of Canada. C is for Calgary Stampede, days of rodeo fun. Yee-haw! So they have cowboys, pretty similar to our American cowboys. I wonder what they were in charge of. I wonder what their herd was made up of. That's something I'll have to have a look for. D is for dog sled, gliding across the snow. So dog sleds is a form of transportation to get me from one place to another place. E is for eagle, soaring in the sky. So we know from our information in our science lessons that the eagle is part of the North American continent, and Canada is part of the North American continent, so eagles live there too. F is for flag, waving in a parade. We already talked about how that flag has two of the same colors, but they have a leaf on theirs. We don't have that. G is for geese flying south for the winter. So they are migrating. So migrating for the winter will help them survive. H. H is for hockey. He shoots, he scores. Ice hockey is a big part of the Canadian sports scene. I is for ice fishing on a frozen lake. Brr. So cutting a hole in the ice, dropping your line through the ice and trying to catch some fish for maybe breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Who knows? J. J is for Jasper National Park in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. And the Rocky Mountains run along the border between North America and the United States of America and Canada. K. K is for kayak, skimming across the bay. Is another form of transportation. L. L is for lobster, snapping its claws. Lobsters are seafood. Do you like eating lobster? M. M is for maple syrup. Pour it over pancakes. Yum. So maple syrup comes from the maple tree, the sugar maple tree, and Canada produces a lot of maple syrup. It's one of its exports, which means it makes it there and then gives it out to other countries in trade for either money or for other supplies that Canada might need. N. N is for Niagara Falls. Hear the water roar. So when we were driving from where we are up into Canada, we went past the Niagara Falls. We took a picture. Do you see it? Oh, here it is. O. O is for Ottawa, the capital city of Canada. You can see there flying this flag, and this building almost looks like a castle. P. P is for Peggy's Cove. Its lighthouse guides fishing boats home. So lighthouses are very important for the water traffic, another form of transportation, in that it guides the ships and boats and submarines safely past rocks. Q. Q is for Quebec City. Take a carriage ride. Oh, we could take a carriage ride in New York City, and you can take a carriage ride in Quebec City. So there's another form of transportation that's the same from the United States. R. R is for the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. See the Mountie on the horse? Now, I know that when I was in New York City, I got to see police riding horses through Central Park. So, police can ride horses in the United States of America, and police can ride horses in the country of Canada. That's something the same. And a horse, we know, is an early form of transportation. They still use it today in some places. S. S is for salmon, swimming upstream. So they are migrating back to where they were born. They'll lay eggs, and then their spawn, baby salmon, will go out to sea to live, and then they'll migrate back to their pond that they were born in. T. T is for Toronto, Canada's largest city. Toronto City is the home of one of the biggest, best zoos in the whole world. A really great zoo to see if you ever get up there. U. U is for underground, where miners dig deep for coal. Oh, we talked about coal being a natural resource, a resource that humans use to create energy for forms of transportation or for the industry of making things like iron ore. So coal is very useful, but we have to be careful because it may eventually run out. V. V is for Vancouver, city by the ocean. We have cities that are by the ocean. W. W is for wheat, growing in prairie fields. Huh. Wheat is a very important ingredient in a lot of products, most particularly breads and cereals. X. X is for cross-country skiing through snowy woods. Huh, another form of transportation. This would be a really cool way to come to school. In the wintertime, I could cross-country ski to school, and then I could put my skis outside. Maybe I could use them at recess. Y. Y is for the Yukon, where the northern lights glow. Whoa, the northern lights. And you can see there's also southern lights near the poles. Z. Z is for Zamboni, cleaning the ice. So the Zamboni keeps the ice nice and smooth. It smooths out all the grooves from the ice skates, and that makes the ice faster for you to skate on. Pretty cool. Well, we learned some interesting stuff about Canada. Some of the things were the same that we have here in the United States. Some of the things were a little different. Well, one of the things that is different, at Christmas time, they have Belsnicklers. What's a Belsnickler, you ask? Well, a Belsnickler is a masked mummer that comes to your house dressed in their underwear or their night clothes. And they wear a mask and they make noises and tell rude jokes. And it's up to you to try and guess who's behind the mask. And when you guess who's behind the mask, then they take off their masks and they stop making the noises and telling the rude jokes. And they will ask you questions about what your behavior was like. Were you good? Were you not so good? And if you were good, they will give you treats. So that's a tradition that you'll see in some Canadian homes where the masked mummers come to your house and you have to try and guess who they are, so they'll stop making noise and go away. So maybe you could try and think of a time that you wore a mask for a celebration. I can think of a couple of times that I wore a mask for a celebration. Write about it in your journal. Let me know, when was a time that you got to wear a mask and got to celebrate in part of a celebration?